the truth.
I'm Jim Price, Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, what's the date today? I don't know. We'll ask the government. It's July 27th. It's a Monday, 2026. Well, guys, thank you for being here. This is one of those things that, we have a lot going on, but there's not a lot going on. The sad part of it is that I don't know what happened to this summer. Now, I've lived through a lot of these different elections over the last, I've been doing this, 8 years now, something like that, 7.5, whatever it is. Each midterm, each election cycle, just like the election cycle we're having in Wichita tomorrow, we're starting tomorrow in Wichita, which the voting then ends next Tuesday, I guess, or whenever the hell it is. We all decided we're going to vote for 29 days, because that way every single person can now, I just don't vote because I just don't have enough time. I can never just get there. Well, you find a time to pee and poop and eat. You can't find a time to swing by one of those churches that are supposed to be non-political and vote. Why can't you do that? Anyway, this is the part where So anyway, we have in this season of right now, this is the midterms. The midterms are, to me, I think the midterms should never be a midterms. I think that there should only be one date to vote, and that's it. And if you want shit on the ballot, you want things to happen, you want to be a part of whatever, then you got to be on there. There's none of this every April and every August we have an election. Yay. Guys, this is the stupid part about it. Today, or this week, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our primary for governor and a bunch of other really important positions, including county treasurers and all kinds of stuff. And I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of counties out there just like Kansas that do the same kind of things Kansas does. They stick these little amendments in there. And so what we've done, and by the way, guys, I know that I have a special place in my heart for the stupidity of Kansas. I like Kansas. I like the people, and I like the weather here. I do like how it, one day it's 110 degrees today, and then in like 2 months from now it'll probably be 30. I'm not kidding you guys. This is what Kansas does. If you don't like Kansas weather and you think it's another weather you like, give it 10 minutes. And I have yet to really experience the amount of weather change the way I do in Wichita that I do in other places. Now, granted, I've traveled a lot of places in the country, things like that. You can just kind of depend on this weather being this way in Miami, and this weather being this way in San Diego, and the weather being this way in Denver, and then this way in Detroit, and then this way. Do you follow what I'm saying? So anyway, I do appreciate the weather. I do appreciate the terrain and all that stuff. We're right on the edge of the western desert. We're close enough to the Gulf that we get, the Gulf moisture. But we're close enough to the Gulf Stream that we get the tornadoes, and we're just close enough to the trees that we got a lot of big trees and animals and white-tailed deer and just all kinds of stuff, right? But I will tell you that nobody's been paying attention to politics in this state for 100 years or more. There's nobody paying attention to Kansas. Why? Well, Ty Masterson says he's endorsed by Trump because he has a commercial that says, Ty Masterson has been endorsed by Trump. No letter, no voice, no notification, just says that Trump endorsed him for governor. That's it. Now, I've known Ty Masterson, and I've known of him for a couple decades now, I guess it's been. And he started out as a simple congressman, and he found his way into politics as a construction worker. And then now we have a problem that at WSU is that Ty Masterson is not actually getting to work for his $1 million a year job. Yeah, he makes about $1 million a year at Wichita State University in Wichita, Kansas. Now, that could be over a 4-year deal, could be over a 5-year deal. Maybe he's only making 20 grand a year, or maybe he's making 200,000 a year. Maybe he's not making that $1 million a year. Maybe just, oh, wait. Why is it that we're so confused by this? Why don't we know how much a state Senate president is making at a Wichita State job that we pay Wichita State and federal money, which means that we get to know exactly what everybody gets paid? Then why don't we exactly know? Or is this part of the cool kids club that took me down? They decided that the no-knock raids on my house was just enough to destroy my life and take my wealth. See, my problem is, guys, is that I walk around here and I'm looking at this midterm election stuff and how we get here. And the sad part of it is this is how we get here. We do midterm elections. We got an election today. We got an election this week about the Supreme Court and how it gets picked. And by the way, in the state of Kansas, you cannot petition your government. Did you know that? Oh, no. The state legislators said that it's illegal for the people of Kansas to petition their government. Now, let me stop that for a second here, and let me show you how this doesn't make sense. So we're going to go Kansas Bill of Rights. Okay, and this is very simple. You just put Kansas Bill of Rights, okay? And then so this is where you go in there and you can do the Secretary of State. It says the Bill of Rights, all men are possessed of equal and inalienable natural rights that can never be taken away, given away. That's inalienable, means you can't take them or give them away. Among those which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Political power, all political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their equal protection and benefit. No special privileges or immunities shall be granted by the legislator. But we do have cop immunity. We have judge immunity. We have DA immunity. We have legislator immunity. Look it up. Oh, you think the cool kids clubs don't take care of each other? Hey, Gene Solentrop, weren't you driving at 80 miles an hour down the wrong way on a freeway, drunk off your ass, and then told the cop, you're a legislator, that he had no business messing with you because of your power, Gene Solentrop? You want to talk about that? But where did you serve your jail sentence? Where did you serve your, you didn't, did you, Gene? Even though we have all of the video and the evidence of your case, but yet that never really went anywhere? Or did you get a little slap on the wrist? You got a little thing? How about where they raided me twice and they ran news articles and they kept doing all this hit pieces all over me? What about that, Gene Solentrop? Where is yours? Hey, Ty Masterson, you've been the Senate president now for how many years? Year after year after year, but yet elderly do pay property tax. Elderly do pay Social Security tax in the state of Kansas. The poor, the underprivileged still pay utility taxes and property taxes and health, all the stuff that you say that you took care of, Ty Masterson. But by the way, you and Kelly, well, you never really got mad at her. You never got in her way, because here's the problem I have. You have a supermajority override over a Democrat governor, but yet you have not stopped abortion. There's an abortion clinic 5 miles from my house, right on Kellogg. Oliver and Kellogg, it's been there for decades. Dr. Tiller, the baby killer, worked there for decades, was shot in the head in his own lobby of his own church over on 13th and Rock. Someone walked in on a Sunday morning and put a bullet in his head. There's a lady now that took over the practice and instantly was never even a skip in the day of services at the Tiller Clinic. Trust Women is where they go now to get the babies taken out of their body, and that's a woman who does it for women, because we got to trust women only. But yet Ty Masterson has a super majority veto override, meaning that he could put any bill he wants out there. He could put voter integrity. He could make sure and abolish property tax. He could abolish food tax. He could do all kinds of amazing things. Oh, wait, you mean in the Senate? But what about the House, Jimmy? They don't have the House. Oh, yes, we do. Right, Dan Hawkins? We got the House. We got a supermajority veto override in the House. But wait, Ty Masterson, we're an abortion state. We're a sanctuary abortion state. You can't turn people in. There's no reporting for underage abortions. So Ty Masterson, please tell me how you're endorsed by Trump. Tell me how you're endorsed by anybody. Ty Masterson, you have been in control of this stupid state as a Senate president, and then you got your buddy right there. Oh, Hawkins just giving you the old poot on the butt every time you guys go to dinner. And you go to that special lobbyist house where everybody gets a steak dinner and all the drinks they want because it's free. And I'm using a lot of air quotes because, well, you do the math. But I'm asking a question here. How can Ty Masterson be the front-running governor candidate? He's just so smart and he's so good for everything. I just can't wait for Ty. Ty, you're the best. Are you going to give up your Senate seat if you don't win tomorrow or next week in the governor's race? Are you gonna quit your legislative job and go on into private practice? Or are you going to stay in that Senate seat with nothing to risk? So you can run in an off-year government race, gubernatorial race, when you don't give up your seat, right, Ty? You don't give up your power, boy. Way to go, fist bump. Pooh! See, my problem is, guys, is we have legislators that don't believe that you even matter. So let's go on to Bill of Rights of the state of Kansas. This is under Scott Schwab, Kansas Secretary of State. It's on their very website. I'm not making this up. I'm not on AI. I'm not on Google's something or other. I'm not using blah, 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 blah. I'm reading from the state. Right of peaceable assembly, petition. The people have the right to assemble in a peaceful manner to consult for their own common good, to instruct the representatives, because we live in a constitutional representative republic, and to petition the government or any department therefore for the redress of grievance. But in the state of Kansas, I cannot make a petition and have thousands of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people sign it and then tell my state to put a voter integrity law on the books. I can't petition the city council to investigate the money laundering. I can't do that because I can't petition for a judge to be investigated. I can't petition for my government to free somebody. I can't petition them because in the state of Kansas, we are not represented that way. The representatives told us no. No. Right, Ty Masterson? We are not a petition state. Right, Ty Masterson? You love that. Just like when I got the forensic audit, the full affidavits, and I sent over 3,000 of them and file stamped them with notary and signatures from 3,000 separate people to motivate Ty Masterson to do a forensic audit. And you know what he did? Oh, they did an audit. Oh, yeah, they did it. They took him 6 months and like $3 million. You know what they found? Nothing. No, the state of Kansas, I mean, our voting here is so impeccable that when our Senate President, Tyson, oh, thank you, Ty, told me that my elections are free and secure and I should never worry about any of that. And what were we looking at anyway was the comment. Why are we looking at our elections? We have great elections here. Our elections are not fiddled with. My gosh, how dare you say that? Laura Kelly would never change the header on the bills of lading and make sure that they change the name on the record, but they don't match the check. And by the way, if anybody ever want to do a forensic on the state of Kansas and making sure that the invoice matches the check, bet you won't. Bet you won't. Why don't you go back and look at that COVID money, Laura Kelly? Bet you won't find that the exact invoice and the person, no matchy-matchy. It's like a magic show. Magic. Hey, Kelly Wolf, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Julie Sharping is here as well. So this is again, and Julie says, Jim's full of jokes this very hot Monday afternoon. Well, I'm a little fired up. So again, here we go. So right of peaceable assembly petition. It says, the people of Kansas, shut your pie hole, go home, we do what we want, we're representatives of you, but not really. That's what this whole thing says right here. It really just tells you to go F yourself. Go F yourself. Go. Like when Elon Musk said that you're going to use your advertising dollars to leverage me to ban people on X or Twitter. And he said, go F yourself. But again, what do I know? What do I know? I do know that we are in a situation in the state of Kansas where we're doing an off-election year. Off-election, meaning not presidential. We're doing it in another, again, off year, so it's an off year, then we're going to do this. But we also had an election in April. We had things to vote about in April. And now we're voting again here about the Supreme Court. Now, guys, if you ever heard of this situation, you've always heard about your Supreme Court justices that the governor will put up, and then the legislators grill them, and they go, oh, what did you do? What did you do? Did you wipe your butt with your right hand or your left hand? Which one is it, ma'am? I need to know, because that makes me understand how you are going to be a Supreme Court justice. We have nothing but a liberal court here in the state of Kansas. The state of Kansas is ran by nothing but Democrats, and if you guys believe that we're Republican, look at me. I'm not in that House. I'm not in that Senate. I'm not in that government. Why? Because it's not about you. The little bit of power and the little bit of money that they have makes them feel so omnipotent that they will kill you than rather deal with you. If you think that's funny, you think I'm lying, I've had the laser dot to my forehead. And here's the thing, guys. If they walked in my front room, put a bullet through my head, they'd just say I was resisting. It would take about 2 seconds. They'd probably never get it on the news, and I would just be dead. My son would be figuring out how to handle my estate after I'm gone. And that officer did one for the good old boys. And they'll shove it under the rug that they shot me in a house raid, but I resisted because I was a drug dealer. And boy, oh by God, there was guns in the house. Magic, huh? Magic that none of my guns are loaded. None of my guns have anything in the magazines, but yet they felt it necessary to bring a battering ram to my house. They didn't do that to Ty Masterson, did they? Dan Hawkins. How about Estes? Ron Estes, he's our House representative. Yeah, how's that going, Ron? You don't even know you're in D.C., do you? See, my problem is that guys like Rogers and guys that we have, that the senators out of the state of Kansas, they don't even think about it as being destructive. They think about it as just they want to hold on to what they have. And I will go out there and I will pour my heart out to these guys. Listen, I understand Rogers, Dr. Rogers. I understand Marshall, Mr. Marshall. I understand Laura Kelly. I understand Ty Masterson. I understand Dan Hawkins. I understand Ron Estes. I understand, boys. I get it. You don't want to be jobless. You thought you were cool, and then if you're not elected, then you're not cool and you're not relevant. You don't want to be not relevant. You don't want to go home because you're in the game. You're in the game. Yeah. Woo! I'm in the game. I get to do all kinds of lying to people so I can keep my 30 pieces of silver, 20 pieces of silver. I can get my capers out of the deal. I can get my health care out of the deal. I can get that little extra out of the deal. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm trying to get. Daddy's trying to get that little extra money. So how do you get the $1 million a year job at WSU, Ty Masterson? It's because of your construction background in Derby? Is because of all your years of legislative prowess and how you've really mastered the abortion and the marijuana and the wind farms and the solar farms and the water purification. You've mastered all that, right, Ty? And you just got to go get a job over Debbie's because you got to bring the bills together. You're hoping to pay the electric this month, Ty? Dan? Estes? Marshall? You guys want to talk about this? But here's a problem, guys. In the state of Kansas, we have lawyers who vote and put up our Supreme Court justices. And then tomorrow starts the pre-voting. The early voting is starting tomorrow. Early voting's tomorrow. Okay? Early voting's tomorrow. But you got to decide whether you want to change how we elect Supreme Court justices, or we leave it like it is, where we have all these Supreme Court justices. There is no split. There is no divide. There is no we and them. There's no us and you. There's no you and this. There's none of that. None of that. It's just a big old bunch of Democrats running the Supreme Court in the state of Kansas, and you think you're getting justice? I don't know of very many Republican lawyers in my life. And guys, unfortunately, I've been around a lot of them. And being in politics, there seems to be a lot of lawyers that just love to swim around in that little cesspool. It makes them feel alive. But we're getting ready to try to vote to say, I do not want Democrat lawyers in the state of Kansas voting and picking my Supreme Court justices, while I say I live in a constitutional representative republic government. I live in a constitutional representative republic government. I vote in a democratic process, meaning that the majority wins the vote. Okay? So why are we like this? Julie says, "Oh, don't forget about Mark Bennett. It's about the judge issue, but of course he's an attorney." Julie, Mark Bennett used to go to church with me. I used to know the guy. I used to have his kids at my Awanas. I was an Awana director for 20 some years. I had his kids. I played in the orchestra. I knew his wife. I knew his kids. The whole thing. And he's not the same person anymore. He thinks he is. He thinks he's still doing the right thing. He's never gone out of the system and looked back at it. He's inside of it looking out, going, everything looks wonderful from here. Oh, it's wonderful in here. This is awesome. I ought to do a whole lot more of what I'm doing because everybody loves me. I get awards and I get my paycheck and I get pats on the back and I do one for the boys. And, hey, it's just a thing, brah. Who do you think charged me, Bennett? See, that's another problem I have. The personal relationship I've had with several of the people in law enforcement that were directly handling my case makes me wonder if there was a bit of a, should you have recused yourself? Should you have pulled yourself away from the case knowing that we had a personal relationship? I don't know. I'm sure it's not a problem. I mean, if it was nepotism and he was hiring his son, well, that's not a problem because his son works for Sedgwick County, but in a different division than his daddy does. He didn't get the job because his dad's Sedgwick County district attorney. He got the job because he's qualified, dummies. His son didn't just get the job because his dad's district attorney. Are you crazy? It's not how that works. I mean, you go through the application process, there's a vetting, there's interviews, there's the whole, it's a thing. But again, folks, what am I talking about? Everything I've told you today makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you think in a certain way, makes you actually want to act, but you won't. Ty Masterson needs to be called out, but you won't. Mark Bennett needs to be called out, but you won't. Kelly needs to be called out, but you won't. Dan Hawkins needs to be called out, but you won't. Dan Hawkins is a doormat. Ron Estes is a doormat. Roger Marshall, doormat. They're all doormats. Ty Masterson, is as much as you think that I am mad at him for what he's doing, he's not in charge at all. He just likes having someone's hand up his ass, running his mouth for him. See, that's the sad part of it. I can't be mad at Ty because somebody's got something on him. Somebody's got some shit on him. Somebody's got some dirty laundry. They've got his poopy underwear in a drawer somewhere waiting for him to step out of line like he's supposed to do. And as long as he does that, oh, you're doing a good job, Ty Masterson. Oh, Dan Hawkins, you do so good. Oh, Mr. Juan Esther, you do a good job. You vote so good. Ooh, 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 you vote the way we like you. Oh, yeah. And as long as the people who make the decisions and have the money and manipulate the power and use the badge and the judges to manipulate their process to get what they want, when they're able to manipulate the judge and the cops to get what they want, they become fearless. Just like they did to me. They weaponize the cops and the judges. It's the easiest way. Oh, it's illegal. Oh, he was so illegal. Ooh, he's illegal. I had an above top secret security clearance that none of those bozos in the city or the county in this state could get on their own. But yet I was the drug dealer. I was the problem. Or was I a threat to their little playground system? Their little, I only want people I like in the sandbox. I get to be the gatekeeper. I'm the cool kids club leader. And when I say, no, I don't like Jimmy, well, then Jimmy goes home. And if he doesn't want to go home, then we'll kill him. I mean, no, we won't kill him. We'll suicide him. Well, we won't suicide. Well, you know, we're gonna destroy his life the best we can. If he keeps popping up, we'll eventually kill him. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Killing somebody is easy because you know why? Nobody talks about it because the people around it don't want to talk because they don't want to be dead too. It's called mafia law. This is a mafia effect. This is where a syndicate, a group of people, a RICO, is creating a movement within their little cool kids club, and they all move in the same direction, and they got the cops running interference, and they got the judges running interference, they got the DAs running interference. And guys, if you think, hey, listen to me, just like the Jeffy files, the Jeffy Island, just like that, just like the Social Security stuff, just like all these people that millions and billions of dollars that go out every month in Social Security to dead people, okay? We know it's there. But where is the prosecution? Oh, the U.S. Marshals kept telling me, oh, we're going to do something, Jim, but the Biden administration won't let us take it to court. The Biden administration won't let us file papers on it. We can't file criminal charges on these, this, and this, and these persons. I can't do the DDBDBD on this person. I can't do the blah, 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 that and that person because of the Biden DOJ. And you know what I did? I got tired of hearing it. I got tired of hearing it over and over and over again. Oh, yeah, the government sucks. Oh, yeah, the government's not doing anything. Well, you know, the government. Well, I'm tired of having that conversation. Why can't we just fix whatever that is? The government. Why don't we just stop letting it happen? Why don't we have a judge and a cop who has bothered to stand on moral grounds, knowing that the steal is in, that the good old boys happened, that the Brady Giglio list, Brady Giglio, this is an individual, okay? This is a case that had to go and be brought up because somebody was planting evidence and lying about people. So now there's a list of cops who have perjured themselves. They have gone into court, stood there with their hand. I swear that I will tell the truth, the whole truth. No, I'll even do it I'll do it in the Bible here. I swear to do the whole, tell the truth, my whole, so help me God. Right? Now, no, that dude's a liar. I caught him with drugs. He was this, he was that. Nope, I never did this. Lie. Called perjury. That means they got caught. But because they have immunity, they still have a job. And they didn't get prosecuted. Now, if I lie to the courts, if I lie to the police, if I lie to the marshals, if I lie to any government officials on whatever it is I'm lying about, whatever it is, okay, that's called perjury. I go to jail. But they do it, they just go to work the next day. They shoot a guy with 2 magazines worth of ammo. Bam, 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 click, bam, rack, bam, 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 bam. He goes on supervised. He's on a supervision desk job. He got promoted. So a Sedgwick County sheriff went to pick up somebody for a failure to appear on a traffic violation, not a murder, not assault, not killing kids, not skinning babies in the bathtub, none of that. This gentleman was getting picked up because he had an outstanding warrant because of failure to appear, and the guy thought he had a gun and shot him with 2 magazines. And he still has his job to this day. Why are we allowing this in our country? Why are we not wanting transparency? Is anybody out there, let me get a raise of a hand here. Who doesn't want transparency from the police department? Who doesn't want to know when they shoot somebody wrong? Who wants to know when they break a finger? Who wants to know when they break an arm? Who wants to know when they skin somebody's elbow? Who wants to know when they break open the skin on somebody's face by hitting them? Well, it was their fault. I don't care. Tell me. Tell me anyway. Anybody out there thinks the cops should be more secretive? They should have more secretive. They should not wear uniforms. They should have private lights on all their cars and no sirens and they have sirens, but no stickers, no lights that are visible, no ability to see that they're different than another human being. Guys, we have so many police officers on the road right now in private vehicles, it would scare you. Listen to me. There are more police vehicles on the road daily, including state, county, city, and federal. That's 4 different types of agencies. And in the state one, they have all kinds of different law enforcements in there. State troopers, investigators, all these different things. And I keep coming across this. What's really weird is that lately, the cops are going undercover. They're showing up in Toyota Tacomas. They're showing up in Honda minivans. They're showing up in old Dodge Chrysler vans. They're showing up in Malibus. They're showing all these crappy little one-off cars that they seem to have gotten out of the junkyard. Guys, you're being surveilled and monitored, and you are being watched far harder than you realize. Oh, flock cameras. Oh, the flock cameras. There's 88,000 of them in the country. That means they're reading over 38 million unique license plates per month. 38 million unique license plate per month are read by flock cameras. I'm not talking about any of that. That's just a private corporation out of Florida that your HOA can employ to find out when you come home from work at night. HOAs are now putting these in neighborhoods. Lowe's puts them in their parking lot. Walmart puts them in their parking lot. Target puts them in their parking lot. Look it up. Kroger. Again, these malls, these little mini malls you go into, catch the flock camera at the entry. Why do city parks need flock cameras? Why do country roads? There's a country road that is literally 2 hours from here. It's on a road that goes east-west across the bottom of Kansas, and there are 2 flock cameras, and there's nobody around. I mean, literally, there's no towns for an hour on this road, and yet there's flock cameras. Why? Who's paying for it? What county commissioner thought it would be cool to make sure and register all the cars that go in and out of your county? Oh, yeah, it's at the county lines. So you know who's recording it, who wants that information. But let's go back to this. We are having this fight over voting. But the voting, what are we voting for? Are we voting for legislation? Are we voting for a political party? Are we voting for positions? What are we voting for? And where do our votes go? And why don't they count? And why can't it just be one goddamn day every 4 years we get our shit straight? Why do we have to have these? We had a legislative proposal on the ballot in April. We have another legislative proposal on the ballot now. During the primary, when it's the lowest voting possible. The primary has the lowest voting, but yet we're going to vote on a statewide legislation? Why? Why aren't you putting it in there when most people vote? Because you're trying to control the vote. You're trying to control how the participation works. Now, here's a neat little something I want you guys to think about. And this is one of the reasons, if you don't like Trump, okay, fine, cool. You don't have to like Trump. I mean, I don't know if I like him personally. I don't hang out with the guy. But Acting Director of National Intelligence, Bill Pulte, said another round of layoffs has been completed as Trump administration continues reducing and restructuring the Office of Director of National Intelligence. The acting director announced Sunday evening that had completed a fourth round of staff reductions, continuing a broader restructuring. Pulte said the changes are intended to reduce the agency's size and return its work to the responsibility established under federal law. So, let's do this for a second here. Excuse me, I got a cough. The internet, when it was first conceived, which we had the internet long before we ever saw it forward-facing on AOL or any of that stuff, it was just to move packages of information to be able to share back and forth without waiting on a fax machine. You know, remember the old fax machines? We had to feed it in there one at a time, and they're like, they would do all that, and then it would go quiet, and then it would sit there and shift all those pages, and then they would go to somebody else, and then their printer, their fax machine. Now, if you guys remember those initial fax machines, you could literally read the fax faster than it could come out. So what you find yourself doing is looking at the fax machine upside down, and you're going, okay, so all right, that, okay, yeah, I got that, all right. So you're seeing that, but again, in the infancy of the internet, it was just about information. Now it's 99%. It's about 90% porn now. The total stored content of the internet is mostly naked people doing things to naked people. But what I'm pointing out to you is what he said in this statement. Pulte said, the changes are intended to reduce the agency's size and return its work to the responsibilities established under federal law. So in other words, when the National Intelligence Agency was created, it had this little thing. It was like, okay, we want you to do this intelligence thing. You want to be intelligent and do this thing, right? And it had this little lane it was supposed to be in. Well, then after time, and after time, and after time, and after time, and after time, suddenly we're not doing the internet. We're not doing packages. Now we're doing porn, and now we're sending emails with pop-up scare videos, and we're doing all these other things that has nothing to do with just sending information, and we're sending our recipes, and now we're sending your Arabic brother over in Sudan has a $25 million if you would just secure an account for him. And again, that's where the internet started getting that, right? So now we have everything from the internet that people are now I have texts I receive from random numbers probably 10 times a day. Are we going out to dinner tonight? Oh, that barbecue was great. Oh, I missed your call. Can you call me back? Oh, hey, and it's all these randomized whatevers. Well, now on the cell phone, when I first got it, nobody called me unless you knew the number. Now I have random text messages from people that I don't know trying to get me to respond to them. Why? What if I do respond? Does it make their day better? Are they getting my $10 I have left in my checking account out? I mean, I think I have 12. I have like $12 in there. Are they taking the $12 I have? Is that what they're going to do? Is this the process, how this works? Why am I getting random text messages in now? Oh, because, well, when phones first started coming out, it was just a phone number. Now it's a way of just battering you with stupid information and polls. Would you like to take a poll on Chick-fil-A and how good they're doing? Yes, I would love to tell them that their Tyson chicken sucks and has 58 ingredients that I don't want to put in my body. I wanted chicken meat. I don't want in my chicken. Okay? So you really want me to do that survey, Chick-fil-A? Or, So the point of it is that he's trying to get it back to its original function. And if you can't understand that this is taking a lot when people don't want to lose their job, when people are fighting for their job, fighting for their well-being, where they know that they've just been mailing in a job, showing up, getting a paycheck, doing nothing, and then when someone asks them, remember the whole return an email? Remember that last year about this time? It was about this time last year. Well, I can't believe if you don't return your email, you're going to lose your job. Well, you had 2 weeks to return the email. All you had to do is say, I do this all day. I make widgets, and I make 42 widgets every day because my job is a 42-day widget job. Thank you. And then just send it back. That was too much. Remember that? But we've got rid of a lot of people back then, but you don't remember them really bitching and moaning, and you don't hear about the lawsuits, the class action lawsuits of all the people that got fired when they didn't respond. Or were these people getting paychecks because they weren't real and they didn't respond because they're not real, and so they stopped getting a paycheck because they're not real? Are we okay with any of this? Are you guys picking up what I'm talking about, right? This is your government. And we're trying to figure out how to get this back to the size it needs to be. But this is what we got. The deep state firings have begun, a source told CNN. CBS News previously reported that Pulte dismissed 6 political intelligence staff members and directed 45 additional employees to return to the federal agencies where they had been assigned. Okay, all right. CBS said that he fired 6 intelligence staff members and then directed 45 additional ones to go back to your damn agency. You don't belong to this intelligence agency. You don't belong here. The Department of Intelligence, is that what it is? Is it the D? Is it the DNI? Yeah, Department of National Intelligence. So CBS reported. Now, this is what I don't understand. They were trying to make this sound bad. They're like, oh, my God, he got rid of 6 people. Oh, the tragedy. Oh, he made 45 people go back to their offices where they belong. Oh, my God, this is tragic. Our intelligence agency is falling apart. I don't know when the last time I needed an intelligence briefing to go do anything in my day, in my life. Even as a defense contractor. So they're mad because 6 political intelligence staff members, he dismissed them, fired them, but then told 45 people to go back to your original offices, your original job, and then like CBS is big mad. I can't believe it. You want him to go back and do his job? You're crazy. Today, I spent time with a national counterterrorism team who is doing an incredible job protecting our country under President Trump's leadership, Pulte said. The room was filled with true professionals and American patriots. It's a privilege to work beside them. Now, why did he have to use the word patriot? Well, that means that these people believe in God and country first. And that's right. That's what we believe in. That's what the whole idea was supposed to be like. That's why I say on the show, and I don't say it often like I used to, but I said, we stand with all patriots. We, you and I, stand firm, standing there with anybody who wants to come in and be a patriot, God and country people. We stand with all patriots. And that's a theme that I have used consistently over and over again. And I think it's very clean in a lot of ways. But think about the director of national intelligence saying that I can finally get something done because the people here actually believe in God and country first. That seems refreshing, doesn't it? Or what was he getting before? If it wasn't God and country, if they weren't patriots wanting to make sure that our country was safe. Trump previously announced Clinton's nomination, but delayed the confirmation process until senators approve a successor to lead the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. That delay has left Pulte serving as acting director while overseeing the ongoing reduction of organizational changes at ODNI. I think it's the Office of Director, Office of, I don't know. What's ODNI? Is it that it? Is ODNI? I don't know what ODNI stands for. Isn't that crazy, guys? Charlie Francis and I were talking about, we're getting random calls and texts, also like you. I do not respond. Well, that's right. I mean, the sad part of it is that we have to do that all the time. Hey, Terrence William, good to see you, man. Good to see you, buddy. Mark is here, too. Hey, contact me, please. All right, Mark. Mark is chlorine dioxide guy. MMS. There's a problem I have a little bit with some things that are coming out about the pandemic and things that we all said that wasn't a plan, and we all got in trouble because we said it was a plan, and then we said, oh, it was 2030 agenda, but it wasn't 2030 agenda. But then Trump was doing the Heritage Foundation thing, and I don't know what we're doing. But remember when? Let's sit here as I. Oh wait, it's not my pipe, but. This was a gift. This is somebody had their father's tobacco, their pipe, his pipe and tobacco stand. They gave it to me and said that they would like me to have it. But as I sit here in my pipe and my leisure coat, and I tell you a story about a long time ago about a doctor who thought he was just doing his job, keeping his head down, doing God's work, making sure to keep all these things going, as we talk about these things, I always think about in the days of when I was a young man working and tilling my way through the toils of life as I thought about, I don't know how to do this. Anyway, Fauci, remember Fauci, the Fauci ouchie guy? Well, he's new released entries covering December 19th through 22nd. Dr. Tony Fauci, private reaction to praise, media attention, celebrity status while he helped lead the federal response on escalating farts in the wind. Well, my problem again, guys, is as I sit here in my pipe and I smoke my pipe and I think about and I ruminate about the old days of back when Fauci was on TV every night at 6 p.m. Eastern to tell us the death count and the freezers are lined up along the freeways of our country, stacking bodies because there's just too many to put in the ground. Remember him? Remember that guy? Why do people write shit down, James Comey? Why did you write down, should we take him out or kill him? Why do you guys write down your plans? Are you guys so simple-minded that if you don't write it down, you'll forget it? Like you can't keep a constant thought in your head? Guys, I do this entire show with no notes. Every single thing I do in here is actually starts here, and then I just start talking about it, and then I have news articles that will reinforce what we're talking about. But Fauci thought it was okay to write these things. And he wrote them down as in like, my investigation uncovered that Anthony Fauci kept a diary. What he wrote privately and what he told the country are two different stories. Today I'm releasing his entries from December 19th through December 22nd. Rand Paul, a senator, Rand Paul. Everybody doesn't like that man. I kind of like him. I do. I don't like that he votes no on everything. But I also know why he's doing it. So I get it. The diary begins during the early phase of the outbreak, when the virus was still commonly identified as 2019 nCoV. Fauci recorded meetings concerning quarantines, rising infections, and the possibility of declaring a public health emergency. but several entries were emphasizing the praise he received from political leaders and colleagues during this discussion. In one account, the White House task force meeting in the Situation Room, Fauci wrote that President Donald Trump described him publicly as really a famous guy, the smartest, knowledgeable, and outstanding person he knows. Fauci recorded that he was surprised and very pleased by President Trump's remarks and stunned and impressed by the response from deputy officials in the room. The meeting itself involved expanding case numbers, quarantine policies, evacuation. I mean, this guy. Later entries from March and April catalog what Fauci characterized as public adoration. He noted reports that grandmothers who had crushes on him, sexiest man alive. The diary also referred to Fauci's bobbleheads, beer carrying his name, Instagram live appearances with NBA star Steph Curry, coverages of public thirst and fandom, and publications including The Atlantic. The attention arrived while Americans were dying in growing numbers and many elderly residents were isolated. But we had Fauci, and his fame and fortune just grew exponentially. And thank God he finally got the adoration that he was always hoping. As a Jew American, he always thought that he would finally climb to the highest levels to be able to dictate over a country, whether they could come and go or go to school or go to, boy, the days of lore when we told stories about these ancient wisdoms. Oh, well, man, old Tony Fauci was one of the wise ones we once had. He stood on the mountain of knowledge and told us, we shall wear masks. We shall stay 6 feet apart. We shall stand in airport lines wondering what the hell's going on and why we're getting touched by people we don't know. No, Fauci, he was a man who stood on a mountain. He planted his flag. He stood there. He was so proud. Oh, we shall lock it down. We shall have no graduations. Grandma and grandpa shall die in nursing homes and never see their grandchildren. You shall not attend those graduations. You shall not attend the funerals. You shall not go to Easter. You shall not go to Thanksgiving. Remember Thanksgiving? Just stay home. Just don't go. Remember Thanksgiving that year? Just stay home. Go home. Yeah. Remember? I do. Terrence Williams says, Fauci the fraud. That's right. So, later entries from March categorize, that was it. The diary also refers Fauci's bobbleheads. Paul's committee is examining broader questions involving the government's pandemic response, including the origins of COVID-19, federal support for the gain-of-function research, and the prevention of official records of Fauci, and the preservation of official records and Fauci's conduct while serving as director of national intelligence of allergy and infectious disease. Why does national intelligence need a director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease? Oh, no. He was just that. Oh, he was the National Intelligence of Allergy and Infectious. So he was that director. NIAID. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought he was NIC, or what, National Institute of Health. NIH. I thought he was an NIH director. Which one is it? So, anyway, the senator subpoenaed Fauci June 26 after the former federal health official withdrew from an earlier voluntary agreement to appear before the committee. And I'll have to quit telling my fireside stories with my pipe here. Anyway. So, guys, I just want you to think about what we went through a few years ago where a guy's ego. Now, let me give you this. Maybe Fauci's a nice guy. Seriously. Maybe he's just a nice guy. But somehow, some way, somewhere, his little ego got all pumped up, got all out of whack, started believing his own shit, started smelling his own farts, thinking that, man, I only fart roses petals and and citrus smells. I am the bestest ever, boy, I tell you what. And he started thinking that, man, I get to do this press conference and everybody asks me 100 questions and I get to be up here and for all the nation, the whole world listens to me. I am Fauci. I am the greatest of all. I am Fauci. And maybe he just got all ego-driven. And that's possible. Hey, I've lived in the ego for a long time. I know what it's like. I catch my ego playing around. Like, ego, come on now. And the sad part of it is that this guy got tied up in what was his own pride, and that's how it works. Now, guys, as we go through our day, we have to remember that this kind of thing is called human beings, and human beings do human things. And if you think that a human being's not doing something human, he's hiding it. Sorry. That's how that works. So let's just get more transparency. Let's get better. Let's get honest about all the stuff we're dealing with. Why can't we just do all that? That would be so awesome. Let's just get some honesty going, right, guys? All right. I do appreciate everybody's comments today. A lot of great comments out there. Good to see everybody out there. I had Terrence Williams. I had Julie. I had Melanie. I had Brenda. I had Courtney Allen. I didn't see you, Courtney. Kelly was in there. Kelly Woof. Woof, 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 woof. Anyway, good to see you guys. Thank you so much for all the great comments. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in. We'll win. I promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been that answer out there. Remember that Constitution? That limits the government, but never limits you. You've always had the power. Understand that you live in a constitutional representative republic. You do not live in a democracy. Democracy is socialism. We vote in a democratic process. Start correcting people when they say we are a Democrat. We do Democrat. We're a democracy. We're a democracy. The F we are. We're not a democracy, guys. Quit falling for the trap. That is called a trap because constitutional representative republic is harder. You don't say it. Constitutional representative republic. We do not live in a democracy. Socialism is democracy, period. That's communism. All right, guys, that's about it for me. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.